Hey y'all, welcome back to Black as She podcast, the conversation with your girl Jasmine Ivory. So today I'm just going to talk about standing on the fence of right versus wrong. So, I'm just here to do what God has placed me here to do, which is to just get His message across to the masses the best way that I know how, or how I know He would want me to deliver the message. And I feel like people misinterpret where others are coming from with how they do deliver the message, myself included. So I feel like, I've always been that type of person where I don't tolerate disrespect from anyone, and I don't like disrespect being in my presence. So if I feel like someone is being slandered, if I feel like someone is being, verbally abused, physically abused, or just trolled by people underneath the comments, whatever the case may be, I'm going to take up for those people. And it's not other people's, it's not for other people to understand. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not for other people to understand when God didn't place that on your spirit and your mind to do. When He places it on someone else's and they take heed to it and pursue just that, then that's what that person is called to do. And once again, it's not for everybody else to understand. Other vloggers or spiritual persons or individuals to understand when that message was not for them to deliver. So I say that because I feel like, wicked is alive and well. The boldness of the wicked is alive and well. And it's okay for those people to speak their mind, to say such nasty and derogatory things about people. Meanwhile, Christians or people who are religious, I don't identify with like religion anymore. I'm just a spiritual being. So I feel like me having a relationship with Christ and looking around me and seeing other people who are supposed to have a relationship with Christ become so cowardice to not speak up on what's right and slaying, the things that are being spoken that are wrong. So I feel like I do that. And I may get some backlash for that, and that's absolutely okay, because my journey and your journey are different. What God ordained you to do and the collective that God ordained you to reach, that's your journey. The collective that God ordained me to reach, that's my journey. So it's not, if God didn't give you the gift of certain things, it's not for you to understand. So I don't want people to get discouraged for any upcoming vloggers or anyone that's spiritual, or once again, like I've said in my other videos, anyone that's trying to regain that connection with Christ. Don't get disarrayed based on the statements of others or like backhanded shade of others or whatever the case may be. It's not for them to understand. Your journey is not for them to understand. Where you're coming from is not for them to understand, because God did not give them that understanding from that perspective. So keep doing you. And that's what I want to speak on, like keep doing you. Don't stop. Speak from the heart. Speak from sincerity, from genuineness, from righteousness. If you see something wrong, speak on it. If you see someone's context is being, like someone's message is being taken out of context, speak on it. Because like, especially if you've been keeping up with people, like for me, anyone that follows my personal page on Instagram at Jasmine Ivory knows I'm a huge LeBron James fan, knows I'm a huge Cameron Newton fan, knows I'm a huge Lauren London fan. I'm a fan of so many, and it's not just celebrities. I'm a huge fan of anyone who I feel like has, started in a certain place in life and has progressed into flourishing in their purpose, into flourishing financially. Like one of the girls I went to school with, she was just on Real Housewives of Atlanta, who I went to college with, and she was hired on there she does what they call Sipniks in the City or whatever, and she plans like these lavish, like expensive taste type of picnics, right? You can have them indoor or outdoor, and she is amazing at what she does. I'm a fan of hers. Like, I am so proud of her accomplishments. It's unreal. So if I see, knowing how hard she's worked, because she's been working on this for quite some time, I think almost 2 years now, and she's just perfecting her craft. So if I see someone saying, oh, you had a handout of blah, blah, I'm going to comment, because I know that this girl for a fact did not have a handout. She very much well well started this out of passion, and it grew to help her financially. She's already a certified nurse, a RN, so she don't really need the money. This is just extra baggage for her. But the fact that she started where she started, and now she's grown to be where she is now, I am so freaking proud of her. So if I know that she's worked hard, that she started this out on her own and just was consistent in doing that, which landed her on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know, specifically to do her job, to set up their SIPNIC for the girls' night in or whatever, and I see someone saying, oh girl, you got a handout, or I am going to say something about it, because it's right versus wrong, not thirst, not desperation. It is simply right versus wrong, and that's just the spirit that God has given me. So, you know, don't, like I said, don't let people deter you from what God has called you to do, especially when you know that you're being sincere. Always be on the side of right. I'm going to take up for anybody. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you have one blue check, two blue checks next to your name, or no blue checks at all. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And I've been like this since the end of time. I remember, prime example. I was in, and y'all do not do this at home. Don't ever try this, because this is so dumb. This was a no, big no. But I know that now. But I just don't like disrespect, and I just don't like when you know someone's intentions is pure, you know someone didn't mean harm, you know that's not exactly how they intended to say it or intended for people to perceive or take in the message. Like, I've been watching people YouTube interviews, I've been following their football, their basketball career. I've been looking at interviews that these people do with their sons, their daughters, their family members, interviews that they've done with their own mothers who are African American women. Like, so I know to a certain extent, even though I may not have met these particular like celebrities or whatever in person, I know like, you can tell their intent. Like, come on now, seriously. If you just go look at years and years of their tapings and everything that they've done over the course of their time, you would know if somebody is being like malicious, or if somebody was really trying to say something to hurt women or to hurt men, specifically Black women and Black men. And, you know, as for me, I look at the silver lining in everything. I see the good in everybody. I'm no fool now. You can't don't try to play me or make me or assume that I'm a fool, because I'm far from that. So I can definitely understand when somebody is trying to throw a dagger, or somebody is trying to be malicious or distasteful in their message. I'm very observant. That's another gift that God has given me. So I'm very observant. I pay attention to it all. I may not say anything right then and there. Sometimes I will. Sometimes I'll observe a little bit more before I give you a piece of my mind respectfully and tastefully and intact. But you're going to hear what I have to say nonetheless. But I sometimes, like I said, sometimes I'll hit the nail on the head right then and there and put a butter in it right then and there. And then sometimes I'm like, let me make sure I'm not tripping. Let me talk to God about this. Let me, you know, have his spirit to move through me to see for sure if someone is being malicious, or if I can talk to this person about this in a certain way, or if I just have to let them know where to get off. You know, so you can kind of tell. And this is getting back on track. Well, I've been on track, but just get into the story that I was trying to tell, as far as how I've always stood up for right over what's wrong. And so yeah, I was in Panama, you know, spring break. This is years ago when I was back in college. Actually, it was my last year in college, I believe, 2013. So I went to spring break, right? And my cousins, I stayed in Texas or whatever. I'm from Texas. So my family, like my brothers, my parents, my niece and nephews, all of them were here in Texas. But I went to school in Mississippi State University. Go Bulldogs. But so yeah, so I didn't have like my immediate family there, but I still had like my first cousins, my aunties. So I guess still kind of like my immediate family, just not my parents and my siblings there. But they were like 2 hours from where I were. They were like 2.5 hours from my university, and then from them, my other aunts on my mom's side were like 2 hours away from that part of Alabama. They were in Georgia. So I took my little vacation or whatever, you know, you get a week for spring break. I was like, okay, I'm gonna hit up Bama first, then go to Atlanta. So I hit up Bama first. Me and my cousins, we went to the beach. You know, it was spare of the moment, last minute thing. We got there. It's like, Jazz, we didn't know you was coming, because I did kind of surprise them. I wanted to be a surprise. So we were going through some family things. Like, two of my cousins had just passed from their side. Like, they were their sister and their brother, the youngest boy and the youngest, well, the middle boy and the youngest girl. So I was just like, okay, let me just try to be that light, right? That beacon of light. So, drove to Bama first, popped up on them. Then one of our other cousins was like, y'all want to go to Panama? It's spring break. Literally, we got back in the car. They hit up my guy cousins. They was like, hey, my other guy cousins was like, hey, y'all want to go to Panama for spring break? We heard it be lit. So they were like, oh, heck yeah, we down. Let's get our stuff ready now. So we go get ready, whatever, to go to Panama. Y'all, I'm thinking that I'm the worst person ever when it comes to making sure I'm presentable. We literally had to take two of my cousins to go get their nails and feet done. Then took my other cousin to go get her hair done. And then we went to Panama. So crazy. All of this and within like a 2.5 hour time span before we took off to go to Panama and stay the night. So we get there, whatever, we having fun, blah, blah. This is the first night we go out, you know, it's lit. We having fun, enjoying ourselves. We get back to the hotel, wake up the next day, we hit the beach. We go to the beach and we having fun, blah, 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 talking, dancing on the sand, just walking the strip, enjoying all of the beautiful blackness that was around us, right? It was like so dope, so lit, just royalty all around us. So we're walking, and then I saw this dude. I don't know what happened, what transpired. I saw this dude, literally, unfortunately, black guy, black woman. Don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I just see him haul off and punch her, like across the head, like, what? And my reflex reacted quicker than my mind. And because, like I said, I've just never tolerated disrespect. And I didn't know this girl from point A to point B. Didn't know her whatsoever. Didn't know the guy whatsoever. But it's just the disrespect that was in front of me. I just have a low tolerance. I have no tolerance for it, actually. So, and oh, if my parents see this, they're gonna be so mad at me because I never shared this story with them because I know they would have gotten on my behind, because that's just what we did. Was just something, what I did really was just things that you don't do. And I said this in my other video, so I need to take my own advice. Of course, I take it now, you guys. Don't be saying, no, I definitely take my advice now. Since 2013, I've been taking that advice to keep yourself out of harm's way and the people that you love out of harm's way. That is serious. That is so for real. So I definitely learned real quick. After that, my cousins got on my behind. So I didn't need to tell my parents, because my god cousins got on my tail, because we all could have ended up badly. So I seen him hit the girl, and I just, like, my feet took off before my thoughts can process through. And I just ran and hit the boy in the back of his head. And all of my cousins, my girl cousins and my guy cousins, ran up behind me and kind of beat the boy up. And then as the fight was ending, we were going back to the hotel. My cousin's like, you went to school with, you go to school with them, you know them? And I was just like, no. But that's just how I am as a person. That's just what I don't tolerate at all. I don't tolerate disrespect. Even in college, I literally got into it with one of the girls who I consider to be one of my best friends at the time, because I was staying in a 4-bedroom apartment complex. And it was 2 rooms on this side, 2 rooms on that side, a restroom on this side, restroom on this side, kitchen, and then our living room, right? Beautiful apartment, pretty layout, spacious enough for 4 people. So we were all staying together. We all knew each other or met each other before moving in, of course, obviously. And so some of the other girls that were there at this point in time when I got into a physical altercation, it was one girl in the kitchen cooking, and then a group of 3 of the other girls who we were cool with, they were in this other room, the room next to mine with my other roommate. And I was in my room. And at this time, it was like a bunch of drama going on between us. I wasn't really talking to the girl who was living next, like whose room was the side of mine. I wasn't really rocking with her like that at the time. And so I was just I was already feeling the way because I'm like, y'all are my friends, you know, and I'm not really rocking with her right now. Y'all know her because of me, and she knows y'all because of me. So it was already some things going on, and it was already kind of shady. So I was just like, why are y'all, first of all, I wasn't even there, so why y'all here? And y'all already know what's going on between us. So not only that kind of ticked me off, but I can sustain that, like I can take that. But it's the fact that the girl that was in the kitchen, she was cooking a birthday dinner, and she was cooking it for one of the girls who were in the room next to mine with my roommate, and they were in there talking about her. So the girl that was in the kitchen, she was cooking for one of their birthdays. Meanwhile, they were in the room next to mine talking about her. And you know, in certain apartment complexes, the walls are paper thin, so you can hear everything. And I heard them clearly, loud as day, very vivid, as to what they were saying about her. And I'm like, are you kidding? This girl had literally spent her money. She was cooking a whole soul food meal. When I say the girl can cook, the girl can throw down, which is why she was the one in the kitchen. So she literally spent her money, bought this beautiful cake, beautiful cake. And this is what y'all are doing, talking about her. And like I said, I was already feeling away because I'm like, now I feel betrayed because what y'all are doing cooped up in her room and I'm not even here. That's number one. Number two, this girl cooking, you know, sweat, blood, tears, all in the kitchen, and spent her money on the cake for one of y'all's birthday, and y'all in here talking about her. So, you know, there were some words that were exchanged after they left. After they left, I got a text and was like, hey, why are you acting funny? You didn't come out and speak to us. What do I look like knocking on her door to speak to y'all when y'all are my friends? You feel me? Why didn't y'all knock on my door to speak to me, just out of respect and just to let me know, to be solid, to be 100, like to let me know, like it's not like that, you know, you still our friend. We're still going to communicate with her. We know y'all going through y'all beat, but I'm just here to let you know that we still solid. We stand on solid ground, right? As far as our friendship. Nobody let me do that. I got a text after they left. And so at this point, yeah, I'm snappy. I'm a little snappy. I'm a little firecracker at this point. I'm like, what do you mean? And so that led to, one thing led to another, and you know, she came back to the apartment complex and we got into a physical altercation. But do not look at this as like red flags, y'all. This is just solely letting y'all know how I am as a person. Now, I don't get to that point anymore. It's called growth. It's called maturity. It's called emotional intelligence. It's called minding my business, even though I am going to speak out on what's wrong and what's right and nip it in the bud right then and there. Some things I can't take up for everybody, but because I'm not God, so I can't keep track, one, with what everybody has going on, and keep track with myself and my personal things. So a lot of things I have to leave up to God, and I have to let him move through me and kind of control me in a way so that I don't get to that point where I'm just rushing to everybody's defense. Now, don't get it twisted. Okay, I'm not sure why my camera keeps stopping, but like I was saying before my video cut off, I was saying don't get it twisted. I still will leave a comment under some blogs if I feel like they are just slandering someone's name or just trying to gain clout at the expense of somebody else. I don't like it. I don't like it, and I never will. Like I said, I will always stand on the side of right. So if that's if someone chooses to misinterpret that and question who I'm really representing and who I'm supporting or whatever the case may be, then so be it. It's not for you to understand where I'm operating from. It's definitely not a place of thirst or desperation or whatever people may view it as. And don't let that discourage you. For anyone that's watching this who's hesitant about vlogging or about speaking on spirituality as well as taking up for what's right and what's wrong, but are scared to because of the fear of backlash or whatever the case may be, because you're misunderstood. They don't understand like what God is placing on you to speak about, or where he's placing you to operate from, which it's only going to be from a place of righteousness. As long as you know that and God knows that, that's all that matters. Don't let someone, like I said, deter you from your calling, from your purpose, and always doing the right thing. So yeah, I've just never tolerated slander or disrespect or rudeness and politeness, especially when it's unnecessary, like completely unnecessary. It's no reason for it. Like, it really is. And I can see, if it was something to a certain degree, it have to really be to a certain degree, y'all. This alarm, I'm about to unscrew it because it's getting on my nerves. But but yeah, so I said all of that to say, y'all, like I said, don't take this as red flags or I'm just have a short fuse or a short temper. This is back in college. I graduated college in 2013. Y'all know we are in 2021. I'm sorry, 2022. So yeah, you can do the math and how many years of growth that it took me. I am still a work in progress. Like I said, I still don't tolerate disrespect. I don't tolerate others making people look bad. You know, I don't like people looking bad at the expense of others or whatever. So I don't like people trying to gain clout or a fan base at the expense of others, when you just simply know that that's not what the person meant. It's not about anything other than standing up for what's right versus what's wrong. So I just wanted y'all to understand a little bit clearer what my page was about, who I am, what I represent, what I tolerate, and what I don't tolerate. I think honestly, I've gotten better as far as maturing and learning when to bite my tongue. But I think I was disrespected, something that I still won't ever get comfortable with because it's like when you give a person an inch, they want to take a mile. So I just kind of like learned to nip it in the bud right then and there. Some people learn, some people still gonna try to test you because they don't know which buttons to press. So they'll try to keep poking the bear. And at that point, yeah, you just have to set them straight again, you know, to whichever extent you feel the need to, not physical or violently, but verbally or in some type of, if it's in a professional setting, it depends on the setting. Like if it's a professional setting, you send out a polite email, respectfully, a professional email, keep it cute, keep it tactful and tasteful to where you don't lose your job. You know, even if it's in a public setting, you don't embarrass yourself or anything like that. But you do set it straight, like you do get your point across and you bounce, you leave. You don't have to stick around any longer for it to get or escalate to any type of violence. But as for me, no, I don't tolerate it, and I will act accordingly, of course. Because at the end of the day, I represent one person, and that's Christ. So not person, but I represent one entity, and that is Jesus Christ. So I definitely have to do things with tact, but at the end of the day, God never said be a fool. He never said let people play you as a dummy, take advantage of your kindness, take your kindness for weakness, or all of the above. Anything that's negative, God did not say, you know, let that slide, or that's the way of life. But so you definitely have a right to take up for yourself. Once again, you have the right to take up for what's right versus wrong. You have the right to speak out. You don't have to be cowardice or silent just because you are a spiritual person. That's the problem. We have too many spiritual people who are supposed to be warriors of God and fearless, who are really in fact the opposite. And I'm just breaking out of that shell slowly, still slowly but surely, as to like speaking out and standing up for right. What's right? Like, no. Why do these people who work for the adversary and the enemy, how are they able to be so boisterous? But us people who represent Christ, we're so, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to get, I don't want the backlash. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? How else are we supposed to evolve? How else are we supposed to get better, especially in the Black community, in the Black culture? How else are we supposed to be united, be solid in our communities if no one is speaking out on what's right and what's wrong, how we treat each other, how we treat others? If no one is speaking out, God might as well just go ahead and come back if that's the case, because it's just a lose-lose situation. We can't be scared. We can't be afraid. I'll take the backlash. It's fine for me. It's fine for me. But yes, y'all, I just want to come on here to make sure people understood me a little bit better, understand like where I'm coming from, where I'm operating from. And like I said, to any person that's wanting to be a vlogger or and speak about the things that God has placed on their heart to speak about. Don't get dismantled. Don't get discouraged. Keep pressing forward. Don't let certain statements or backhanded comments or sly remarks steer you away from doing what God has placed in your heart to do. So love y'all. Until next time. Talk to y'all later. Thank y'all so much for staying tuned with your girl. And